This is Optimal Work Daily, episode 1416, Customer Service Skills. How would you handle these awkward situations? Part 1, by Steve Chou of mywifequitherjob.com. And welcome to OWD for this Friday. I'm Dan, I'm your host and narrator here. And the post today is a little bit on the longer side, so I'm going to read the first half right now and then wrap up for you tomorrow. So let's get to part 1 and start optimizing your life. Customer Service Skills. How would you handle these awkward situations? Part 1, by Steve Chou of mywifequitherjob.com. If you've been selling physical products online for any length of time, chances are you've hit a few snafus along the way where good customer service skills have come in handy. Even if you run a robust operation, processing large volumes of orders inevitably results in mistakes and situations that are beyond your control. For example, most online stores rely on third-party shippers to deliver their products to the end customer. Well, what happens when there's a breakdown with your shipper? When something doesn't get delivered, is it the shipper's fault or yours? When a customer makes a complaint, do you trust that they're telling the truth? With the holiday selling season right around the corner, these problems only get amplified. For example, you have to deal with customers wanting to make returns. You have to interact with frustrated people trying to make last-minute purchases for their friends and loved ones, and you have to deal with fraudulent orders. In this post, I'm going to present some of the major customer service dilemmas that we've faced over the years and how we resolved them. Did we do the right thing? You be the judge. Customer service dilemma number 1, order not complete. Several months ago, a customer purchased several dozen linen napkins from our store, and she needed them shipped immediately via UPS next day air. It wasn't a huge order, but it was large enough that we marked her as a possible long-term B2B customer in our database. As a result, we paid extra attention. Anyway, the linens were delivered on time, and everything seemed to be okay, but the following day, she called to complain that we shortchanged her on her order. She ordered 4 dozen napkins, but claimed to have only received 3 dozen. Now, it's entirely possible that we screwed up, but here's the thing. 1, we processed her order with extra care since she was a potential repeat customer. 2, each set of napkins weighs 1.2 pounds, and her package weighed over 5 pounds. It's highly unlikely that we didn't pack her order correctly, and we were fairly confident that she was lying to get free product. How would you deal with this issue? Would you denounce her as a no-good lying cheater, or would you ship her another dozen napkins? Customer service dilemma number 2, package lost in the mail. This particular customer ordered some handkerchiefs from us 3 weeks before her wedding date. Under normal circumstances, her order should have been delivered within 2 to 5 business days through the United States Postal Service, but for some reason her package was delayed in transit. In any case, this customer called us inquiring why it was taking so long for her order to be delivered, and after checking the tracking number, her order appeared to be in transit, but 2 weeks had already passed. Based on the delivery confirmation, she had not received her order yet, and it was starting to look like her order was either lost in the mail or severely delayed. Seeing as her wedding date was rapidly approaching, we had a hard decision to make. Do we ask her to wait and jeopardize her not getting her order on time? Do we send her another package and have her mail the duplicate shipment back to us? What would you do? Customer service dilemma number 3, package marked as delivered but not received. This particular customer contacted us about an order she placed over a month ago, and when we checked her tracking number, it indicated that her package was successfully delivered. But even though tracking indicated otherwise, the customer claimed that she never received it and demanded a refund. Because the package was marked as delivered, do we trust the customer or the United States Postal Service? Is the customer lying? What would you do, and would the dollar amount of the order affect your decision? Customer service dilemma number 4, accepting personal checks. Some of our customers don't feel comfortable paying by credit card. As a result, we also accept cashier's checks and money orders as payment methods. One time, a customer placed an order and opted to pay by cashier's check, but she sent us a personal check instead. And to make things more complicated, she paid extra for overnight delivery. Now, normally we don't accept personal checks, but this was a fairly large purchase, and I didn't want to lose out on the extra money. Plus, the lady came across as really sweet over the phone. Now, the safest way to accept a personal check is to wait a full 5 days for the check to completely clear prior to sending out the package. But this lady was in a rush, so her order needed to be shipped immediately. Would you go through with this transaction or void the order? And customer service dilemma number 5, incorrect personalization. One of the key value propositions for our store is that we offer custom personalization. For example, customers have the option of adding a 3-letter monogram to their wedding handkerchiefs. But while personalization is a huge profit center for us, it causes one major problem. Customers often make mistakes and blame you for it. One time, we had a customer spend hundreds of dollars on monogrammed handkerchiefs only to complain that we embroidered the initials in the wrong order. You would think pretty straightforward, right? Long story short, she mixed up the letters, and as a result, all of the monogrammed handkerchiefs in her order were stitched out incorrectly. Then she got angry and demanded that everything be redone despite the fact that it was her mistake. What would you do here? You can hear our responses in tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled Customer Service Skills. How would you handle these awkward situations? By Steve Chou of mywifequitherjob.com. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all have non-negotiables. Maybe you never skip leg day or have to take your morning walks. But when your schedule is packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more, it's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. Therapy can help you reclaim control of your time and values. And make no mistake, therapy is for everyone. Whether or not you've been through significant trauma, therapy can be a great tool for setting boundaries, learning positive coping skills, and ultimately becoming the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/workdaily today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/workdaily. We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/startup. So just go to Indeed.com/startup right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And thank you so much to our author today, Steve Chou. When his wife became pregnant and she had plans to stay home with the baby, the couple knew that they would need to find more income. So they started a little online store that they called Bumblebee Linens. And it went pretty well because in just a year, they were able to replace Steve's wife's salary of $100,000 per year. And they started My Wife Quit Her Job to document all of it, including income reports. And now, as you heard, he was able to leave his job too. So it's not just his wife who quit her job. And also, like you heard, he started the Sellers Summit, and you can learn a lot more about that at sellerssummit.com. All right, that's going to wrap up our episode today, but it's not the end of this post because, as I mentioned, it's a 2-parter. So come on back tomorrow for part 2, where your optimal life awaits.